This is RAWBall, August 22nd, 2003, and here is what's going on in the world.
Raw Ball
It
Week
is
24.
It
You
is
said
I, the
2003.
captain. 2023. It is I, the captain, joined by Maddie and Dev. It is the crew back again for a normal edition of this show, if that's even possible to say.
Well, last week
Uh,
was very, 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 very interesting.
Oh yeah, it was.
it was very interesting. It had very little normality to it.
I think we could call it progressive. I think last week's episode was progressive.
Or at least projectile.
Yeah, we could go with that.
It is the Raw Ball Podcast. It is August 22nd, 2023. Dave is in the house as always.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Devin. It's 4:30.
Oh, why did I say morning? I meant afternoon. Yep, starting off
Good
great.
evening, Davey. Or good night for you.
Anyhow, this is not London. This is Raw Ball,
Not London
as
yet.
Edward R. Murrow would say. So, my colleague Matthew and I were debating, speaking of this earlier today, and we
kind of have to.
We kind of have to at this point because tonight, front page on ESPN is the Wander Franco, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put this story up here.
I don't want to call it a skadoodle because we don't want to be thinking about the skadoodling right now.
We don't want to be thinking about anything, honestly, apart from just examining what we have at the present time, which is very little. But for some reason, this story continues to gain steam, and for the sake of baseball itself and for the sake of this young man's career, the Tampa Bay Rays organization, for the sake of all concerned, I was hoping this was just a lot of smoke coming off of a quick lit match to snuff out the scent of a big old number two. But this thing continues to gain steam for whatever reason. And as I was telling Maddie before we went live,
judgment because we don't know the situation personally.
We have no on-the-record statements or affidavits from witnesses. We have no criminal charges from the Dominican Republic. We have, at this point, rumor, innuendo, speculation, but for some reason it continues to grow. But Wander Franco, 22-year-old shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays, was placed on administrative leave Tuesday as MLB and law enforcement. That is the first time we have heard those two words used in this thing.
In this situation.
Law enforcement in his native Dominican Republic investigate allegations of relationships with underage girls. Franco had missed the past week of games after the Royals placed him on the restricted list. He is being investigated by Dominican police as well as MLB's Department of Investigations. So we got John Law involved now.
We do got Johnny Longlaw here, but we do also have that big word, allegations.
Which I hope they are just that and unfounded.
I think whenever we first heard about this story, I had immediately text Cap, and it was like 4:35 in the morning, and I was like, well, this is big.
I mean,
so the original thing that
I feel like I'm going through a bit of deja vu because
NFL Sunday Ticket is now on YouTube.
What in the name of
that
God?
fantasy team you made up?
NFL
fucking
Sunday
ads
Ticket is now on YouTube. Also on
the last time I can remember something of this nature was the whole Penn State Michigosh, which, as we all know, turned out to be arguably the most horrific thing that we've ever learned about.
Yeah, exactly.
In the history of sport. This thing with Wander will get peeled back like an onion layer after layer and has a smell just as bad. Yeah,
If this situation is true, then
depending
yes,
on if and how much of it is true, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit more.
do they have
Though
the
MLB has the unilateral ability to place a player on administrative leave, a player can challenge it, and within 24 hours, a neutral arbitrator would determine whether the league has presented, quote, credible information regarding the allegations or whether the player rejoining his team would cause significant disruption.
which
This
in this case it really would, seeing how many people are on a baseball roster.
Well, each team has 26 guys. At any given day, you can only have 26 guys on an MLB roster, and then you've got typically 3 to 4 minor league squads.
There's a lot of guys in that organization that
Yeah.
may have.
Isn't it this is kid's first year too?
No, Wander Franco's apparently been in the league for a couple years.
I think it's his third year. I believe it's his third year in the league. Well, his second full year, his third year in the majors. And obviously, no one can doubt what Wander Franco has done on the field as a player. We're not,
I mean, shit, look at that streak the Rays had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. And
I
again,
didn't even know he was a player until this started happening.
What's so weird about this, and I keep calling back to the Penn State thing, is with Penn State, we had, even though they were under, seal, they were under grand jury, things were we had legit witness statements, affidavits. We had, yeah, Dave's right. This would be 24/7 news.
This would be, yeah.
In that particular instance, it didn't take long before we had legit witness statements, affidavits, grand juries being formed. Things started to happen pretty quickly with that.
Now, Cap, in this article, I do need you to scroll down because the big part in this article might be that next paragraph.
I know. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm trying to preface and prep. Now, thus far, we don't really have anything concrete. However, we've had more come out today than we have had in, say, the last week. So the fires are getting stoked. So let's scroll down here. At least 2 girls have raised concerns, one publicly, one with law enforcement. One of the girls, whose name and age have not been independently confirmed, alleged she was in a relationship with Franco and posted pictures with him on social media. Her Instagram account has since been deleted. Still, the allegations were enough for MLB to mobilize its Department of Investigations to look into the claims. About a month earlier, a different girl contacted police to discuss Franco. According to the Diario Libre, a Dominican newspaper, prosecutors in Peravia, the Dominican province where Franco grew up, acknowledged that an investigation into him is open and being run by a unit that focuses on minors and gender violence. The lead prosecutor, Olga Dina Laverriez, I hope I pronounced that right, is well known in the country as a specialist in child abuse cases.
So this first one that we knew a little bit about, because that was the one that we had messaged each other about back and forth, not knowing about it, because they said the age and name hadn't been confirmed. We did see pictures, and the original report was that she was what, like 14?
I think that was the initial,
and he's 22,
if I remember correctly.
But there was also reports that came out because before her Instagram got deleted, people started like deep diving into it and shit.
Yeah.
She had apparently had a kid already and was of age 18. So that's only a 4 year.
I did hear about that one.
So if she's currently 14, is that what you're saying?
That is what the original report was. But
so if she is currently of age,
but people
and Wander is 22, so that's 4 years. So that's saying Wander was 18 and she was 14. Is that? Do I have the math?
No, so the original report was that the girl that was in the pictures with him was at the time 14 of the pictures being taken.
Okay.
But then people did a further dive and found out that she was like of age 18 and that she had already had a kid, so that she wasn't 14 like the original rumor had stated. So that was what I had found out about the first one. This second one, I had no idea about, that the law enforcement had actually gotten involved earlier with.
Yeah.
But altogether, this situation is fucked.
Well, speaking from someone who who was pre-law in college, I'm and ladies and gentlemen, please, I am not taking up for Wander Franco in this situation.
Once again, none of us are taking any side or any judgment because we have no idea.
However, you also have to take into account that if, shall we say, criminal actions took place between Wander Franco and underage girls in the Dominican Republic, only the Dominican Republic can raise criminal charges. And at the same time, it would have to be up to the United States, Attorney General, U.S. Marshals, Florida law enforcement to, if these allegations are true, the U.S. would have to extradite, because at present, Wander Franco is still on U.S. soil, and I'm assuming either has a visa or is a full citizen, one of the two.
Getting paid a shit ton just for sitting off on administrative leave.
The U.S. would still have to agree to extradite him to the DR, which means they would have to hunt, capture, and extradite him to the DR to face charges there. The U.S. and the DR have a pretty good relationship, so I'm guessing extradition is a fairly easy process there. However, you also have to look at this. Now, this is where I'm going to throw in the OJ card. I'm going to throw in the white Bronco here. Wander Franco has access to a great sum of money based on what he's been paid. It would be very easy for a judge in Tampa to label him as a flight risk, and he could take off for parts unknown before the United States could ever capture and extradite him should the Dominican Republic decide to go ahead with this thing, because right now they're still conducting their investigations. With OJ, we had a white Bronco chase. With Wander, are you going to have a...
This dolphin can see in two directions at once. But this dolphin can...
Are we going to have a white boat chase? Are we going to have... I mean, these are all things to potentially consider, because...
let's say he could totally just go on the run if they do choose to try to extradite him.
He could bolt.
So none of these claims were on U.S. soil. They're all in Dominican, both of them.
Correct.
Yes.
And he is presently, he has to at least have a work visa in the United States, or he's either become a naturalized citizen or is in the process of it. I'm not sure what his current citizenship level. You can have a work visa and live in the United States for years and years and years, as long as you are maintaining, you're not breaking any laws here, you're paying taxes, you're being a good boy, so on and so forth. As long as you're not breaking any laws here.
I don't think the flight risk would fly, and they would appeal that given other possible flight risks down that way that still have passports.
As of this moment, his passport, we haven't heard anything about that being revoked. We're still in the tertiary stage of this, but it's potential to look at this as something that, right now, you've got an oven, there's a knob on the oven that turns up, you got to go from 0 to 500, then you go up to broil. Right now, this oven is only at about 250, 275. We're low and slow, doing some ribs or something. The oven hasn't really been turned up legally or any other way
It sounds
yet.
like it easily could, like within the next couple of days.
It very easily could if we get word from the Dominican, from their investigators, their in law enforcement that says, "Hey, we've got credible." Yeah. Well,
Other people have disappeared in more mysterious ways.
I'm gonna be honest, Dave. I didn't know who he was until this shit was going on. He's apparently not that famous, at least my mind. I didn't know he
If
was
you're
an
not a
actual.
baseball,
let me educate Dev here. If you were a diehard baseball fan and you followed prospects, you followed the game, you knew who Wander Franco was 3 years before he ever got onto a major league field.
So you
I
knew
know who
him when he
he.
was like 15 years old?
Yes, you knew who Wander Franco was 2 to 3 years before he ever stepped foot on a baseball field. Yeah, Jimmy Hoffa. Well, that was a whole different story. Be careful who you piss off in this life. They may just turn you into a concrete slab somewhere. But with Franco, we're looking at a situation where it's very wait and see, because if the Dominican does their due diligence, their investigation, and says, "Hey, we don't see any credibility here. These are, money seekers, gold diggers. We don't see anything," then it's going to disappear, and he'll have to spend, a while getting his reputation back, because his reputation is, anytime you get accused of anything in America, and I've never quite understood this, to be accused is almost to be found guilty.
At this point, it seems like it.
And my opinion is, you are innocent until a jury convicts you. You are innocent in my book. I don't give two flying fucks or hoots. Unless a jury convicts you, you are innocent. But let's just say the coin flips and the Dominican says, "Hey, this seems like a legit thing. We need to have this man brought back to the DR." That could be the interesting appendage to this thing, because if that's the case, then you've got two nations, you've got extradition, you're involving the United States Attorney's Office, you're involving the U.S. Marshals, you're involving the Florida State and District Courts, you're involving a whole hell of a lot of things. We're talking about this going from being the biggest story in sports to being, a big story in terms of, national news, and also a very odd case in the history of jurisprudence. Look that word up. It's a very good one, jurisprudence. So that is the lead story at the moment. Wander Franco. I'm looking at this. Says the relevant joint policy defines three areas of violations: domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. The latter two in particular are pertinent to any potential Franco sexual assault, according to the policy, is committed through a non-consensual sexual contact. The definition of sexual assault includes a pertinent phrase, quote, "legally incapable of consent." If Franco is found to have had sexual contact with someone under 18 who definitionally cannot give consent, he would likely be subject to a violation of the policy. Child abuse, child porn. Shit.
Shit that we don't want to say here on there.
I mean, it's all it's nothing obscene. It's just explaining the law, but something I would rather not get into until we get there, if and when we find out that, this is just, as a baseball fan, and Maddie and I were, that letter you shared with me from a Yankees bozo.
Ooh, that was bad.
It's like, yes, Cap is a lifelong and actually lame. I'm just, the scars that this could possibly leave on the game if this goes bad is pretty rotten, to say the least.
Was he a massive prospect when he was in college?
He was the number one prospect in baseball. He was the dude.
Players right now. He's really fucking good.
This guy was supposed to be the next big thing, and he so far has been playing really even 2 years before he hit the field, he was already being touted as the next best baseball prospect. Like,
Didn't
this
he
guy
only
was
spend like half a season in AA.
Mhm.
Yeah, he progressed through the system pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate.
Everything is still alleged at this point.
And that's the unfortunate thing, is that even if this, is all smoke and this guy is, justly and dutifully acquitted, dismissed from any and all criminal action, allegation, whatever, this is still going to hang over him.
Oh, yeah. Just look at that punter that was drafted to the Bills that immediately, as soon as he was drafted, all that shit came out that was never true.
And he never played again, didn't he?
He's still a free agent right now.
Well, that's the problem, is that most Americans are idiots, and they don't understand how the legal system works. That you are innocent until proven guilty, and if you are not formally charged, or if you are charged and acquitted, it means you didn't fucking do it. Because, trust me, in the legal course of things, if you actually come to trial and you're sitting there at that table with a defense attorney and the prosecution sitting on the other side, chances are, if you get to that point, they've got enough evidence, because prosecutors are not going to waste taxpayer money just for a fleeing trial. If they're going to bring you to trial, they're going to, go that whole distance. They've got considerable evidence, but in the end, still they have to prove it. And if they can't prove it, you didn't do it. 265 games in the minors prior to being called up. So that's roughly, he spent roughly a year and a half in the minors between single A and triple A.
Yeah. He only played like a season and a half.
So, who's the last person drafted from college and went straight to the major leagues?
Doesn't happen often at all.
The last time I can think of, Mike Trout came up pretty quick. Clayton Kershaw came up pretty quick. Bryce Harper came up pretty quick.
But
I'm saying like straight from college to major league, not like triple A's.
No. The last time that happened was the first or second year of the Texas Rangers organization, when they brought an 18-year-old from high school to start in the major leagues, and he got absolutely just blown up like a pinball. But getting on from that, the next big story in sports, Michigan self-imposes 3-game ban for Jim Harbaugh. Apparently, Harvey was not being a good boy. And during the whole COVID-19 dead period, whatever, he was still recruiting like any good coach would. He just didn't do it under the radar well enough. So he will be suspended for the first 3 games of the season. Now, Michigan is an odds-on favorite this year to be a national champion, or at least,
Speaking of, your boys back into the gambling game, so I'm looking at shit like that right now. Do you want me to see what type of favorites they are right now, Cap?
Yeah, take a look, because I know Michigan's they're pretty well up there. I don't follow college football that closely.
But if I remember correctly, Michigan was highly touted to be in the national championship this year. All right, yeah, no. Currently, for the national championship odds, the top 4 are Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Michigan. And then right behind Michigan is LSU.
Okay, I was like, where's my boys?
So it's the usual suspects to, possibly win the national championship this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's college ball. I mean, to not be a usual.
What is Mizzou looking at?
Mizzou, I don't even think they're looking at it, but I'll take a look.
Mizzou isn't even ranked in the preseason polls.
Missouri has a 1 in 301 chance to win the national championship this year.
So Harbaugh is going to be suspended the first 3 games, but they're against. What are the first 3 games? I saw it earlier. East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green. Win.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, they don't even need him to win those.
They're hitting the Independents, aren't they?
Yeah.
Other than Bowling Green, I think Bowling Green is in a conference.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're in a conference. I mean, unless you're
like they're good enough to be in a conference and not just be an independent.
Yeah, I mean, the only independent that matters is Notre Dame, and that's a big, big if.
Shout out to my boy Greg Cherry, big Notre Dame fan.
Oh, hey, if I had to pick a college team, it would probably be Notre Dame.
It's history, bro. Devin goes to LSU, so.
But at the same time, Notre Dame is one of those teams that they're like Kirk Cousins. They're really great at 1:00 on Sunday afternoon, but you put them in prime time, they ain't gonna do shit.
I'm gonna put this out there. I think a wild card to maybe get to the national championship this year is gonna be Texas, the Longhorns.
I mean, again, Maddie, you're gonna have to be our college football correspondent because I could literally give 2.
Yeah, me and Devin are probably going to be watching a lot of college.
I could give 2 flying fucks about what happens in college football. I watch maybe in a given year, if I'm really paying attention, depending on what the draft class is looking like. I remember a couple of years ago when we had the 2016 or 17 draft class that had Darnold, Allen, Lamar. I watched quite a few games involving those guys because I wanted to, see for my own 2 oculars.
I remember
but typically I pay attention to make sure Arkansas loses, and I pay attention to see kind of what the big time games are going to be. But that's about it. As long as Arkansas
remember that class, Matt.
As long as Arkansas loses and
because that was
I'm looking at quarterbacks and other players coming into the NFL. I could give a flying fuck.
Arkansas has a better chance of winning the Natty than Mizzou does.
I looked at Arkansas's schedule. I've got them going 7-4 or 7-5. I've got them at 7 wins, and 2 of those wins were just gimmies. So I've got them winning 7 games, but I wouldn't bet on 7. I would.
Yeah. You guys are 1 in 201 chance of winning the Natty this year.
Arkansas will not ever win a national championship. They will never win a conference championship, and they will
really close like 15 fucking years ago or some shit like that.
They got to a couple of conference championship games, but just got absolutely ass raped because they went up against Georgia and Florida. They went up against Matthew Stafford's Georgia team and Tim Tebow's Florida team.
And when you have Matthew Stafford and that era, no Sean Moreno, that was a fucking gazelle running the football.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And literally the only reason they got to one of those SEC conferences was because LSU was disqualified because of, or no, it was Auburn. No, was it Auburn? No, Alabama was disqualified because of NCAA penalties. So the only reason Arkansas got to that SEC championship game was because Alabama was disqualified from participating due to NCAA sanctions. So there you go.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy to look at FanDuel again.
Arkansas will never win a national championship. They will never win a conference championship. And if they ever win a divisional championship, it'll be through fluke fuck luck like they have the other 2 times. That team is Arkansas is dog shit. I root for them to lose every single fucking Saturday.
Isn't Josh Jacobs from Arkansas?
No, that was Darren McFadden.
Oh, McFadden was from Arkansas.
Yeah, that was the last really legit team that they had.
Why do Raiders running backs absolutely?
But it was McFadden's. It was the year before that when they were, because the year before that was when they went to the SEC title game. that was the last legit, really good team they had that had a chance. His second year, they were like 8-4. I mean, they weren't doing squat. They went to a BCS bowl under Bobby Petrino, and then they fired him because they didn't like the fact that he was boinking his lady.
Shaboink.
Yeah, that's a big no-no in the Bible Belt. You can't be boinking an assistant. Whereas we know, well, again, that's Arkansas. If it was found out that Nick Saban was boinking an assistant, they would just be slap on the wrist. But in Arkansas, that gets you fired because
Nick, you can't
because
be
because
doing that.
because you can't be upsetting preacher man on Sunday. Well, actually, let's just look at the Arkansas schedule while we're on that, and I'll go ahead and give my.
While you're at it, look up Mizzou's because I know Devin's probably interested in that.
Where is
We're
Arkansas?
gonna get shaboinked.
Shaboinky, shaboinky. Where is Arkansas?
Slowly. Down.
Do you think we're good? Do you think Arkansas is gonna have a chance in basketball this year? They did relatively good in the March Madness more than we thought they would.
Basketball and baseball, we're always contenders for the most part because we have legitimate, competent coaches. We have a legitimate, we can recruit there. But when it comes to football, we have no business being in the SEC. Like, there's just no point.
No reason for y'all being there.
All right, so first game, Western Carolina win. Second game, Kent State win. Third game, BYU win. Number 5, LSU at LSU loss. So 3-1 versus A&M loss because we can never beat A&M. So there's 3-2 at Ole Miss loss at Bama loss versus Mississippi State. I gave them the win here, so that's 4-4 at Florida loss versus Auburn win.
That's a toss-up.
Versus Florida
Auburn's either good or terrible.
That's 6 versus Missouri 7. So I've got 7 wins. I'm giving Arkansas 7 wins, but I've got them losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're going to go. They're only going to win. So that's 5 conference losses. 1, 2. So they're going to be 3-5 in conference and go 7-5 overall.
What about
which means they're going to go to some Pianny chicken shit. December 28th, Fritos, Tostitos, Pepsi, Energizer, Bunny, Astroglide Lube Bowl.
I was about to say, the Astroglide Lube Bowl.
Yeah, they're going to go the Astroglide Lube Bowl and get fucking take it in the ass.
Now, what about Missouri? Because I know that Devin.
All right, let's pull up Missouri's schedule. All right.
Yay, we're going to get shaboinked.
South Dakota.
That's a win.
Middle Tennessee.
I would say that's a win.
Yeah.
Hosting number 16 Kansas State.
We're losing.
Versus Memphis.
No more.
We'll win.
At Vanderbilt.
That's a toss-up there. They're really bad or really good. That might be a win.
Really good that game.
Hosting number 5 LSU.
I'll lose.
At Kentucky.
Lost.
Lose.
Versus South Carolina.
I think we're going to get Carolina.
At number 1 Georgia.
Oh, that's going to be an ass kicking. We're going to get butt fucked.
Hosting number 12 Tennessee.
The exact same thing.
We're probably going to lose, but not as bad as we would to Georgia.
Hosting Florida.
I think we got Florida. I almost said Florida.
At Arkansas.
Woo! I think we're going to beat Arkansas. I think that's going to be a toss-up.
So what'd you give them? 8 wins? 7 or 8 in there?
Hold on. Dakota, Tennessee, lost to Kansas, beat Memphis, beat Vanderbilt, LSU lost, Kentucky lost, Carolina win, Georgia lost, Tennessee lost. Yeah, I gave him 6 wins.
6 wins. So 6-6.
Yeah.
You feel better about Missouri than I feel better about Arkansas than you feel about Missouri.
To be fair,
mark that down.
No, to be fair, the FanDuel also has you guys being better than Missouri as well. So
we're gonna get your boink.
And while we're at it,
we're gonna get 6.
Let's take a look at good old primetime Deion Sanders.
Oh yeah, CU.
Oh, and CU.
Let's take a look at Colorado's schedule. Where are they?
I think I
Where
remember
are
hearing
you
that we've
Buffalo
got a really, I
bastards?
think I heard that
There's
we've got a really easy
state.
schedule.
There's let's
I'm
see,
looking for Colorado.
CSU.
You can find CSU. Just click on them, and they should be like one of the first games that happen.
Probably.
Where is Colorado? They should
I
be
thought-
in here.
Yeah,
No Colorado there.
Yeah, just click on
no,
CSU the next time.
there's Missouri State, Louisville.
Colorado. There we go.
There we go.
All right, prime time, and I'm not throwing shade on prime. I love Deion Sanders.
But this
I
is
just
now
love to
the
give Maddie
primetime
shit.
Buffalo Bills or the primetime Buffalo.
So here is the schedule.
We're starting off the season at TCU. We're fucked.
I think we're gonna beat TCU.
Don't you fucking lie, Devin.
I know we've actually really
Oh,
been
oh,
sucking recently. So
Okay, so TCU,
Loss.
Nebraska,
Win.
Colorado State,
win,
15 or at 15 Oregon,
Loss.
loss.
at USC, loss,
Murder.
Yep.
Loss.
at Arizona State
I think we'll
Win.
probably lose that one.
I think we're
Versus-
winning.
versus Stanford,
We'll beat
Winning.
Stanford somehow.
at UCLA,
I think
Loss.
we're gonna make up for the Arizona State loss with UCLA.
hosting
Something like-
18 Oregon State,
Win,
versus Arizona,
Loss.
at
Yeah.
Washington State,
Loss.
win,
at number 14 Utah.
Loss.
Loss.
We're gonna end the season on like a big losing streak because we're the CU Buffaloes.
I will honestly say this. I will never forget, and it's not a happy memory because I've always been a little bit of a Nebraska fan. The 63-36 shellacking that Colorado put on Nebraska the year Nebraska went to the national championship and got shellacked by Miami.
Hey, dude, you just
That game still to this day sticks out in my mind because that was a huge upset because that Nebraska team was fucking loaded. And then
who was their quarterback at the time? I know. Fuck.
Nebraska 2001 quarterback
That was fuck.
Tim Crouch,
Yep. I could only think of Tim.
Heisman
I
Trophy winner, Maxwell Award winner.
drafted
this-
to the Browns.
Yeah, where
And was-
quarterbacks go to, where dreams go to die.
Speaking of the Browns, why am I seeing a lot of things that the Browns are going to do good this year? Stop trying to hype them up. They're going to suck.
Oh fuck!
White Sox announced that Ken Williams, Executive Vice President, and Rick Hahn, Senior Vice
What
President
the
General,
fuck? I hadn't
have
even
been
heard
relieved
this.
of their responsibilities effective
Yeah, didn't
immediately.
you say you liked Rick Hahn?
I like. I-
EVP
Yeah, they lost their
and
EVP
senior,
and SVP.
senior, and
Ken
GM.
Ken Williams, I was not a fan of. Rick Hahn,
You
I
liked
liked
Rick
for the most part. I questioned some of his decisions, but for the most part, I really liked Rick Hahn. Dave, where are you getting this? I'm not finding this anywhere. Fuck, what the?
I'll look it up on Google real quick. Rick. All right, what's
Um,
the other guy's name?
Rick Hahn and Ken Williams.
I have not heard, I'm not finding anything on this.
They're the EVP, Matt, SVP,
yeah,
and
21
GM.
minutes ago. MLB.com. Ken Williams, Rick Hahn relieved of White Sox duties.
And our owner today said he's wanting to move the team.
All right. This is
That's one step of doing it.
I'll pull this one up
Oh,
on,
poor Cap.
Cap. I'll pull this one up on screen. I'm sorry, but I think
Are we going to get a Vegas White Sox?
no. But this is an incredibly difficult decision for me to make because they are both talented individuals with long-term relationships at the White Sox, said Jerry Reinsdorf, the chairman. Ken is like a son to me, and I will always consider him a member of my family. I want to personally thank Ken and Rick for all they've done with the White Sox, winning the 05 World Series, reaching the postseason multiple times during their 10 years. I have nothing but the greatest respect for them as people and appreciate commitment and passion to the White Sox they exhibited over the years. Shit, Cap.
Pobrecito.
Hey, David does have a suggestion. We can move him up to Montreal.
Excuse me for a brief moment, gentlemen.
Well, that was unexpected today.
Oh, thank you, Davey.
I know the White Sox haven't been doing the best. We might hop into some MLB news whenever he gets back.
I think we're gonna have to wait for his rant to be done with. He'll have to let some steam off after the more he's doing right now.
Yeah, Cap.
He just comes back and he's smoking a rolled blunt with one of the White Sox jerseys he has. Just gives up on the whole franchise.
I don't think he's giving up on the franchise.
He won't. He's such a diehard.
That is two big pieces. That is like I have done what no person could. I made the captain speechless.
Yeah? I've had him shocked, confused, baffled, and disgusted, but never speechless.
I'm trying to think of because I don't think when they released Terry Francona from the Red Sox, that was a big thing. But it wasn't in a big exodus like the GM, the EVP.
And the SVP.
So this is huge. The White Sox are going absolutely full rebuild, it sounds. Because they traded away almost their entire pitching staff at the deadline as well. Giolito is gone, Lance Lynn is gone, and he's, for some reason, killing it for the Dodgers. Why do people go do good things for the Dodgers?
I don't understand that. It's like the Dodgers.
Oh. Welcome back, Cap.
The floor is yours. He's going to pour a shot and then drink from the... Oh, never mind. I thought he was going to pour a shot and then just start drinking from the bottle.
Something you and Cap do together, Devin. You guys chase shots with beers, and I don't understand it.
As you should, King.
All right, Cap, you need to turn your headset back on. Your headset back on or your mic or something?
Nope, we can't hear you back wild.
Hello? Nope. Hop out, hop back in. No audio, Cap.
He's so speechless.
All right.
And there he goes. Hopefully he'll be back. Yep. Is he back?
Nope.
Nope.
I think he might have to actually hop out and hop back in. Yep.
Did he just put himself
in? You gave him audio issues. Oh, dude, no, seriously, though, that is massive, and I do want to hear Cap's thoughts when he gets
He's going to pour his heart, mind, body, and soul.
I don't think he's going to, be that upset about it because this is something, that teams go through, and they did help him win a World Series. But
Matt, put in a context for poor Brandon. They didn't win one since 2005 was their last one.
Right.
I was fucking 2.
Audio's back. Okay, Cap, you've taken your shot. You've had your drink. We need your thoughts.
It's been a long journey since 2005 when we last went to the World Series. Ken Williams, I could really give 2 fucks about.
Yeah, you've ranted about him before.
Rick Hahn, for the most part, now while he made some moves that pissed Cap off, for the most part, especially during our rebuild from 2015, when we just tore everything down and we were, building from the bottom up. I loved a lot of the moves he made that got us so many great prospects, or what we thought were great prospects at the time.
Bobby Abreu, or not Bobby Abreu.
Uh,
Bobby Abreu is a throwback though.
I mean, no, like Jan Moncada didn't pan out. Tim Anderson panned out. Lucas Giolito panned out. Uh, Vaughn's been a pretty good player for the most part. He got us.
That was his name.
We had Abreu even before the big rebuild.
Oh, really? I thought you forget.
Yeah.
I was out of the loop during that period.
No, we had him even before the rebuild.
Okay.
I was gonna love Abreu. He was a shining light that we had. As I clutch my Jim Beam Black, my favorite whiskey in the world, as I'm trying to get through this.
Phenomenal whiskey.
I am at this point hearing this news. Yeah, Dave broke cap by breaking that. Oh, shut the fuck up, Dave. I'll deal with you later. Rick Hahn made a lot of great moves. He made a few bad ones, but for the most part, great ones. His biggest mistake was Tony La Russa.
Oh, I think that might have been the Cardinals' biggest mistake as well.
Well, now La Russa was great in his time, and even our manager before La Russa.
I meant letting him stay as long as he did.
He was only there for 2 years. Well, really? With the White Sox. La Russa was only with the White Sox for 2 years.
Talking about the Cardinals.
No.
They let him stay in St. Louis way too long.
Renteria was a great choice to initially head the rebuild because he is a great positional fundamentals coach. He's not a great manager. He's a great coach. There's a big difference in baseball. Edgar Renteria was a great choice for the initial, couple of 3 years, get these guys in. And I wasn't even a fan of him getting fired. I thought he should have been allowed to remain as a consultant, a coach, something like that. But Tony La Russa, that was, and I believe I said to a lot of people, he's either going to be the guy who takes us there or the guy who puts us all the way back. And unfortunately, that was a Rick Hahn decision. With this news, our GM and our executive VP are gone, and our owner today, it was all over the news that our owner is talking about leaving Chicago. The White Sox have been in Chicago for over a fucking century.
Yeah, it's been over 100 years. The Black Sox incident happened in
that was 1919.
Yeah, 1919. We're in 2023.
The White Sox have been in Chicago since 1900. That was our first year. 123 years we have been in Chicago.
It would be an absolute crime if they were to actually move out of the south side of Chicago.
I'm more than willing to swallow my pride and deal with another rebuild. I've been through it before. I can go through it again. But
you were a Raiders fan before they were the Oakland Raiders too. So you dealt with them being the LA Raiders and then the Oakland Raiders and then the Vegas Raiders, right?
Yes. I don't want to foresee a world in where the White Sox leave Chicago. 123 years we have been there. We were one of the, even despite the Black Sox scandal, we were one of the early on American League teams. I understand things change, but my God, there's no need to leave Chicago.
It's not that the city isn't the issue. The Chicago White Sox are diehard fans. Like I said, it would be a crime to take the White Sox out of the south side of Chicago.
If the
But
White
they
Sox,
need an internal rebuild. I agree with that, but they don't need to fucking destroy the entire team.
there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I've been through rebuilds before. I'll go through them again. Don't take us out of Chicago. We are Chicago. We were there before the goddamn Cubs. The White Sox are Chicago.
They could be Montreal.
Dave, I'll deal with you later.
But that
The
is
White Sox are Chicago.
that
We
is
were here before the Cubs. We should be here after the Cubs.
that might be the craziest news that we've gotten all fucking week.
Well, in the course of 24 hours, I've learned that my executive VP is gone, my GM is gone, and our owner is wanting to move the team. So you can understand I'm a little bit pissed. Or at least bewildered. Jesus.
Bewildered is for sure a good word for it, because I have no idea how I'd react to that. That would be like them going, "Hey, we're gonna take the Broncos out of Colorado." Like, I would be okay, because there has been rumors of them
Hey,
down.
Walmart owns the Broncos, the Fayetteville Broncos.
Arkansas. But I will say, like, there has.
Well, we've got the Razorbacks. I drove you by the stadium. They've got a 76,000 seat stadium that they have 5 or 6 games in a year and can't even fill that fucker.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful stadium, but
it's not the biggest market for such a.
You know, the last thing that sold out Razorback Stadium, Garth fucking Brooks. That tells you about that tells you how even the locals, as much as they want to, oh, the Razorbacks are so good. More people went to see Garth Brooks. Fuck you.
That makes sense for the South, though. That makes sense for Arkansas. But I will say, there has been rumors that they wanted to, like, tear down Empower Field, Mile High, Invesco Stadium, Sports Authority Stadium, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They want to tear it down and they want to build a new stadium, but they do want to keep it in the Denver area, so like Littleton or an area around.
Well, you know, if you keep letting Russ cook, just give it time. It'll be the house that Russ burnt down.
I swear to God, I got this hat the other day, and
sad. I have to say, I do like that.
I don't know why you got it.
Because it's correct, you dumb bitch. Hey, how many Super Bowls do you got, Devin?
Shut up. Okay, fuck you.
Hey, Cap, how many do you got?
Fuck him.
Hey, we're tied. So
fuck this guy.
Hey, Devin, how many Super Bowls does your rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, have?
Hey, we're not talking about them, okay? How many does your Kansas City Chiefs have, Matt?
2.
Do they really?
Do they have a third one?
I thought they had 4.
Super Bowl fucking 3.
I thought they had 4.
No, Super Bowl 3 was Jets and Baltimore, the Colts.
Was it?
Yeah, Super Bowl 3 was Jets and Baltimore when Joe Namath guaranteed victory and they upset the Colts.
Was it the
1969?
That were the Packers Chiefs?
The Chiefs have 3. They had 1 under Hank Stram and 2 under Andy Reid.
Yeah, but wasn't like the first Chiefs win or was it Len Dawson that got them their first one?
No, Hank Stram was the head coach when they got their first one, and then they got 2 under Andy Reid. They were in the first Super Bowl against the Green Bay Packers in '67.
The second one, weren't they?
And they were they won the second one. No. Did they win this? No, they won the second one. They lost the first one to Green Bay. Then they won the second one.
To Green Bay, I know that.
They won under Hank Stram, and they got 2 under Reid, so that's 3. The Raiders have 3. We got 1 under John Madden. We got 2 more in the '80s, I believe. I can't remember who the coach was. We got 1 under John Madden, and then 2 more after that.
We'll give a shout out to Marty Schottenheimer. Absolutely throwing away the Chargers' damn near perfect season.
14-2, and then just got absolutely.
Dude, you had LaDainian Tomlinson's greatest season ever.
Hey, they played Tom Brady. You know what happens? You play Brady, you getting beat. So let's get into some NFL news.
Do you think
I've got a.
Rivers would have made the Hall of Fame had he won a Super Bowl that year?
This is a very interesting story here because I've really started to sour on this schmuck. His name. I thought this was Travis Kelce. Damn it.
Oh, it's Jason Kelce.
Well, Travis Kelce did the same shit in another practice earlier this.
Travis Kelce's been in like 3 fights today.
Travis Kelce. Yeah. Travis Kelce has Patrick Mahomes' dick so far down his throat, he's about to shit the head.
By the way, David, that is big news, and we'll probably talk about it later.
So we got Jason Kelce admitted the cheap shot. I thought it was Travis. Whoop-de-doo.
Well, I was about to say, no, Travis Kelce has started like 3 fights this preseason. Like during, not during the games, but during like OTAs.
Baker Mayfield named Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting quarterback.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Baker Buccaneers. Let's go. I'm betting on them all season long.
Are they going to be like your Chargers last year, Matt?
What, D?
Are they going to be like your Chargers last year and then lose to the fucking Jaguars in the wild card?
No, because this isn't playoffs.
You realize Baker Mayfield got arrested for public intox on the streets of Fayetteville?
And got tackled by a cop, yeah.
That was the corner of the... You remember the bar I took you to, Buster's?
Yeah,
the Walton Arts Center's right across the street. That's where Baker Mayfield got fucking tackled.
I understand Baker isn't really good about scrambling away from people. But he's got an arm. And Mike Evans is down there somewhere.
Well, speaking of getting off, no, we won't go there. Let's see what else is going on.
So I just want to say this is some NFL type of news. Last time I was talking about how we were doing in the preseason and how the NFL and ESPN posted.
Oh, yeah. You guys lost.
We lost to the Washington Commanders by a point.
Your streak is over.
They had to say something, and we lost to the Washington Commanders.
What is it called? What did I call it, Devin? The commentator curse? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if anybody makes a note of anything while the game is fucking going, it's not gonna happen. Oh, yep. He is 9 of 9. He is not going. He's 1 pass away from 10 of 10 to start the day. Ah, shit! He fucking threw it right at the ground.
Or fucking interception. Fumble.
Let's see. MLB standings. Let's take a look here.
The Orioles are the talk of the fucking town, dude.
As they should.
3 games up on Tampa Bay, which we already discussed Tampa Bay, at least one of their players.
But Tampa Bay's still doing good.
The Yankees are 17 games out of first place. I love it.
Who helped put them down 17 games out of first place? Oh, that's right.
The team that's 11 and a half games out of first place.
The Red Sox fucking swept the Yankees, and that's all that goddamn matters.
The Red Sox have a winning. The Red Sox have a winning record. You guys are 66 and 59 with a plus 31 run differential, and you're still in 4th fucking place.
I don't know. We're doing better than the Yankees.
What? How are the Red Sox? You guys are 4 games out of the wild card,
dude. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? We might make the fucking wild card if our pitching staff fucking gets our heads out of our
God damn it. If the Red Sox make the fucking wild card, I will. Dude, I'll be happy for Maddie because I know my White Sox.
I need you to. What is the difference between us and the Blue Jays? Like how many games between us and the Blue Jays? Because
on the wild card, okay. Let's see. Blue Jays 1 game. So you're 3 games behind the Blue Jays. So right now the wild card would be Houston, Seattle, and then you guys are 4 games out of the wild card right now.
Yeah, I just wanted to know. Because by the end of the season, I really want to know if we're above the Blue Jays. Because I know Davey will have a fucking, a happy week because the Red Sox beat the Blue Jays in the season.
Well, it's going to be fun because Dev's team.
Davey cheering from
Barring a barring a climactic collapse, the Orioles are going to be in the postseason.
I still can't believe Devin didn't pick the Orioles to root
I should have. This is what happens when I wanted to do something different. I chose my second favorite team while my first is succeeding. I'm up here with my thumb up my ass in the cellar with no lights on, and I keep hearing sweet, sweet nothings.
Sweet Caroline.
Did anybody else hear?
Shit, that's the goddamn songs the Red Sox play when they win. God damn it!
Did anybody else hear Devin's voice crack as he was explaining? I'm Devin.
I did.
Dev, I have to say this, and I say this with all due respect, little brother. I love you. If you were right here, I would embrace you. But for you being the wagum that you are, you do have a very high-pitched voice.
I know.
Voice fitting your body, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
hold on, because he can't grow facial hair, so it kind of does fit. He's just
but you've got.
I'm gonna grow more facial hair than you, man.
No, it's just.
Kevin, if you can
it's a funny anecdote to me that Dev, between the three of us, is probably the toughest. He's the solo Sokoa
he's the toughest of us and probably has the most between his top and bottom.
Dev is the toughest son of a bitch between the three of us. But the fact that maybe that's why solo Sokoa never speaks, because he sounds. Maybe that's why. Never mind. Dev, we love you. We love you, kid. It's just it does surprise me a little bit that the toughest son of a bitch among us does have the highest.
It surprises me that the voice hasn't gone away.
I don't.
But I thought sometimes you have to realize
I'm 30. In our family is a bass or a baritone. The fact that Devin can't even barely crack a fucking tenor is depressing.
Yeah.
And also, Dev, I'm 36 years old, and I've got a lot of tobacco and bourbon to marinate these vocal cords.
And I've been smoking weed every day for 7 years.
So, Dev, trust me.
I blame the other things I did in my past.
That's
my fucked up voice.
What did you do? Just let people kick you in the balls routinely?
No, that was Matt.
Oh, so
Matt would love to kick me in the nuts.
We wrestled a lot, and I was the heel all the time. So.
Okay. All right. So we've got heel nut shots is to explain why the toughest son of a bitch between the three of us, whom we would gladly get behind, and if the three of us found ourselves in a fight, it's going to be Dev out in front and then us two backing him up.
The fact that the tallest person of us would get behind the shortest person, but the beefiest person is
Matt. I'm taller than you. You're shorter than me.
By an inch.
Hey, I've got leverage and length, but I can't hit that hard.
We've got a picture of all three of us standing next to Bray Wyatt, so we actually
very true
verification of how tall each of us are. And Devin is in fact taller than I am, but again.
And I'm taller than Bray. I'm taller than Bray.
Also, if the reports that his illness was life-threatening came out as true, we really hope that Bray Wyatt's okay.
I hope it was. I'm hoping it was smoke screen to deflect from the fact that whatever they were doing wasn't. Although I will say I can't imagine them throwing the words life-threatening into it if it wasn't. But
he looked good whenever we saw him after.
Dude, we were in the fucking San Antonio area. That motherfucker was shit.
He was in his top form, albeit the match was shit. But he was in.
If the three of us in that airport, if the three of us ganged up on him, I still don't think we would have won the fight.
We would have lost. And that's even after.
I would have tried my best.
Devin, I would try.
Dev, he would have tossed you out of that window onto a runway.
I would have tried my best.
Devin versus Bray Wyatt would be something worth money to see.
I would have tried my best.
That's why I've always said, if ever the Laws brothers get their shit together and actually become a professional wrestling tag team, I would be the perfect guy to be the manager. Not, hey, I'll take some bumps for you. I'll get tossed in the ring the hard way. I'll, take a right hand, whatever.
I like getting thrown around.
I'm not a worker.
Yeah, you do, you fucking weirdo.
I'm not a worker. I'll take bumps for you if I need to, but I'm not a. Ain't gonna be no sick.
We still need to get me and Devin in shape to do this death match.
We still need to
Yeah.
get in shape.
We do need to get in shape.
Which at this point, I don't think once we get through RAWBall goes red zone this year, and all the beer and hot wings and Domino's pizza you two are going to
Oh,
consume.
by the way, that also means that we're covering the postseason as well. Everybody, don't think that means that we're stopping as soon as the 18 weeks are over. We're catching up with postseason, and we will probably have a live from hotel watching of
The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cincinnati
Bengals.
where Maddie eats well done steak smothered in ketchup.
Oh, Maddie, tell the audience about what I sent you today. Please do.
Cap found a picture, and I do know I remember it because it's ingrained in my fucking skull.
Good.
Cap found something posted by someone named Zach Strength. Zach Strength, look him up, because he posted a picture of 3 well done filet mignon pieces with ketchup on top. And I damn near had a fucking stroke while I was taking a shit this morning.
I sent those to Maddie, and I said, observe your future. It is going to be you in a Mahomes jersey eating well-done filet mignon with ketchup. And just to add insult to injury, we are going to feed you a Blue Chew tablet before so that you're both hungry and horny.
Speaking of, I know my header says we're 16 days away from NFL football. I unfortunately don't have a Jake Plummer jersey. I will be looking for one because I do want a Jake Plummer jersey. Shout out to my friend Jake Plummer. But we're 16 days away. Tomorrow will be 15 days away. I got a jersey for 15.
Anyway.
This is my continuity.
Continuity.
So we've got the American League Central. It's the Twins.
It's going to be the Twins. Has this division gotten any better?
No. Cleveland's fallen off. Minnesota's the only team in the division with a plus run differential. We're only 9 games better than Kansas City, and it's not even Detroit. I thought had a chance maybe for a minute, but we got the AL West. Rangers are still leading. Houston, a game and a half back. That's still a race. Seattle started to come alive. They're only 2 back. The Angels and the Athletics. Let's take a look at our Athletics watch. Okay.
How are they still not cracked 40 wins?
So let's okay. So we've got 100. We got 35 divided by 162. Which is a winning percentage of 0.216. 162 times 0.216. That means the Athletics are on pace to finish 34 and 128, which would still put them as the worst team in history by 8 games. So the Athletics are still on pace to be the worst team in Major League Baseball history.
Well, so they just have to win 8 more games?
No, they're on pace. Like their present pace has them. If they keep at their present pace, they'll be the worst team in history by 8 games. Because the worst team in history was the 1962. Was it 62 or 64 Mets that won 142 games, or no? They won 42 games and lost. The Athletics are on pace to be the worst piece of dog shit in history. Atlanta Braves, they're 12 and a half up. They're fucking winning this. The Nationals are 23 and a half down.
Look at that. Dude, look at my team.
The Braves are on fucking roids. And that's not me actually saying that. I'll throw allegedly out there. But what the fuck are the Atlanta Braves eating?
It's not that the Braves are that good. It's just the rest of that division is so goddamn bad.
Buddy, the fucking Phillies have 68 wins, though. Some divisions are happy to have that. The Braves are just demolishing everyone.
Wait till we get into football season and we're looking at actual NFL standings versus the fantasy league, and God, can you imagine the fucking shit that's going to be flying on Sundays when the three of us are in our games?
Well, as of right now, because of how everything's adjusted, me and Devin are week 1.
Oh my fucking God.
Yes,
me and
yes,
Devin-
we
Me
are.
and Devin will be sitting right next to each other that opening Sunday.
The
As
purple
our
purple
team-
nurples that will be going on during that game.
Dude, not just that. It's the full day. Like, we also, in that week 1, Cap and
Raiders,
I
Broncos.
each other as well. So it doesn't matter however you look at it. I have to face both Devin and Cap week 1. And here's hoping that the FanDuel gods are in our favor, because I'm going to be talking with Cap and Devin. We will be getting together a RAWBall parlay for opening week.
Oh, fuck.
Are we going to try to do a parlay every Sunday?
I would like to see how it goes, but we'll start.
As long as it's Maddie's money that we're gambling with.
I feel like it should be equal.
No, I was going to say, I'm the gambler here, so I'm totally fine with it.
I'm fine.
Don't forget, I still need you two to send me your monthly dues for Red Zone, because we gotta
we have to get that started.
get that activated. So let's look at the NL Central. The Brewers are up 2.5 on the Cubs. The Reds are down 4. The Reds have fallen. The Pirates 12. The Cardinals are in last place.
Again, Devin.
13.5 games out.
The beginning of this season, Devin just picked the wrong team.
Yeah, no, I fucked myself over.
Hey, I
chose my second favorite team because I wanted to do something different.
I'm just glad I didn't choose to rock with the Rockies this year, because we're moving on to the West.
And now I get to shit Dave's face. Dave, you said the Diamondbacks were going to have a chance. That division belongs to Los Angeles. Look at that.
Hey, who's been having a really good pitching performance since he went over to the Dodgers, coming from Chicago, not doing a goddamn thing for Chicago? Why is Lance Lynn doing things in the Dodgers land?
Because the Dodgers, unfortunately, know how to manage a pitching staff, whereas the Chicago White Sox, for as long as I've been a fan of them over the last 20 years, they do not know how to manage a goddamn pitching staff. And I have been on record as saying that multiple times.
Does that just mean that the pitching coach isn't doing their research whenever they're going to Lance Lynn over in Chicago? Because, like, that also falls on Lance Lynn for knowing the people that he's going against.
It's a lot of things, Matthew. It's a lot of things.
It is a lot of things, but why is Lance Lynn having a fucking 4.3 better ERA than he had in Chicago?
Well, number one, I will. Chicago is far more of a hitter's park than Dodger Stadium is. Also, the National League is typically seen as more of a pitcher's league than a hitter's league. And also, the Dodgers have the lineup and the team to give him cushion and get leads, and they have the bullpen that we did not. Those are the three things I would throw out to you. I am not a Lance Lynn fan. I was not a fan of his signing.
He was good in St. Louis for the little bit he was out here.
Not really.
Well, let's take a look at who his catcher was. Who was his catcher in St. Louis?
You have to remember, dude, Yachty was the catcher out there for 2 decades.
Yachty was the best catcher.
Yachty, I fucking hate and despise the Cardinals because I live with these shitwits around me all day. But I will.
Greatest catchers of all time.
No. Yachty is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I will stand in the face of anyone who says otherwise. Yachty or Molina is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and anyone who says different can suck my ass. And I hate the fucking Cardinals.
Oh, he let his career go too long, dude. Do you know?
He could have went longer.
Did you see the pitching performances and how well they did when he was behind the mound, even in his last year?
Dude, he wanted to play with his nephew. His nephew ended up moving on from the fucking Cardinals organization, and then he got 300 consecutive starts with Adam Wainwright. Like, are you fucking joking?
See, here's my saving grace. I am a homer for the Chicago White Sox, but first and foremost, I am a baseball fan. I love baseball. Baseball is my first love in life, and I will stick up and stand up for any player like a Yadi Molina, regardless of who he plays for. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book, and anyone who says different can suck my nuts. I don't give two flying fucks. I hate the Cardinals, but Yadi Molina should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and if he gets less than 95% of the vote, I think that is a travesty.
Now,
He is a Hall of Fame catcher.
I have a question for you. Injuries barred and the fact that his career got cut short thanks to a Manny Machado slide. Dustin Pedroia, how do you feel about him?
Hall of Famer.
I agree.
I'm fucking
Hall of Fame second baseman. No questions about Pedroia for me. Now, first ballot. I wouldn't. I'm not going to go first ballot on him. If he doesn't make first ballot, I'm not going to be upset. But remember, guys have 10 years. You've got 10 years on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Pedroia is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But he better get in the Hall
like
of Fame.
Like Yadi. Yadi's a first ballot.
Yeah, Yadi.
But Dustin Pedroia is a Hall of Famer.
Is Posada in the Hall of Fame? Jorge Posada?
Nope.
How long has he been out for?
Because I feel like Jorge Posada, given his contact average and home run totals, he should be a Hall of Famer for a catcher.
Posada is not in the Hall of Fame. Let me check the most recent Hall of. Let me check last year's or this year's Hall of Fame voting to see where he is, because
if he just got forgotten because he was a catcher, that's atrocious. Because I'm worried for people like Buster Posey and Joe Mauer.
Posada was not on the ballot, so I'm guessing he at this point is going to have to be a Veterans Campaign inductee.
Wow,
which is bullshit because Posada was
again one of the greatest contact average hitters for the catcher position, and a home run hitter at that, switch hitter, and I think he had a catching streak. Like he played like 200 something consecutive games, didn't he?
Yeah, he is not in the Hall of Fame, so he will have to be. So he became eligible in 2017, but he only received 3.8% of the vote and was dropped off the ballot. You have to get a certain minimum percentage.
Only 3 point. Who else is on that 07 or that 2017 ballot?
I can't tell you name for name, but the fact that Posada didn't make it is criminal. And I would be fine if the Yankees just burned and died of gonorrhea, but Posada is a Hall of Famer.
I look at Posada as a Hall of Famer. So other people on the ballot: Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge Rodriguez, who made it, Trevor Hoffman, Daddy Vladdy, Edgar Martinez.
Daddy Vladdy.
What?
I have never heard that phrase in my life.
Well, he's Big Daddy Vladdy in our household, but
Big Daddy Vladdy.
So here's the current Red Stitch Rotisserie standings. We've got a tight race for first between my brother and Steve Champagne.
Devin, you need to get into that third spot.
We've got a tight race for second.
Trying.
And then Cap is down here because my pitching staff absolutely fucking sucks.
Hey, just like Kevin Youkilis's batting stance, my shit did not fucking work out.
Yeah, that all mustache Japanese strategy didn't quite pan out, my friend.
It's okay. Next year for the baseball draft, I will announce right now, I'm only looking for left-handed players. Let's go.
At least I know I'm guaranteed to finish above Kevin Youkilis's batting stance.
Are we going to get a new name?
I think next year's team is going to be it's going to be something involving lefties.
Left-handed losers.
Fuck off. All I do know is that Aaron Rodgers' New York ayahuasca trip is going to fucking take things to the moon.
Well,
that your football?
speaking of fantasy football, we have some updated rankings from the cap.
I'm so excited for these.
All right, so I've made a few changes to my quarterback rankings, not too many. I'll make these fairly quick for the quarterback. So I've got Matthew Stafford 14th, Russell Wilson 13th.
Play this season?
Huh?
Is Stafford confirmed to play this
Yeah,
season?
he's going to play.
Most of last season.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson 13, Derek Carr 12, Lamar Jackson 11th. Dev, you can complain all you want, but he has not proven that he can stay healthy for an entire season and actually do shit.
Going to draft him, so.
Oh yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, the sexiest man in football. I've got him
the other day, and I still don't see it. I still don't see you saying Lawrence is sexy, bro.
Me?
No, Cap. Cap said that Lawrence is the best looking guy in sports.
Jared Goff, number 9. Aaron Rodgers, 8. Justin Fields, 7. Kirk Cousins, 5th.
Matt, you know when Cap doesn't like our quarterbacks and Jared Goff is ahead of both of our quarterbacks?
Hey, dude, no, Jared Goff is going to have a fucking fantasy season this year.
I don't reckon.
Herbert, 5th. Josh Allen, 3rd.
Or 4th. And then
Josh Allen, 4th. Pardon me. And
then without a fucking shadow of a doubt, number 1. Dude, is it?
I've moved Burrow up to 2nd.
Which is understandable because Joe Burrow is Joe fucking Burrow.
Well, here's another thing. Look at his wide receiver ranking he has the best wide receiver core according to PFF, and the strength of schedule is not too bad. The O-line, meh.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Kroft. Who else are they saying is his receiver? Because I don't know if I would rank.
Now, here's another interesting thing. Look at Justin Fields, 2nd easiest strength of schedule.
The Bears kind of have an easy strength of schedule.
Now, here's where Russell Wilson could surprise. Look at that 5th easiest strength of schedule.
We already talked about it. I think Denver's getting quite a few wins this year.
They're going to get some mercy humps, 2 of them against the Raiders.
Dude, no. Josh Jacobs is going to fucking prove a point why he deserves to be on an NFL team this year. And 2 of those fucking examples are against Denver. Because, as I said earlier in the show, Cap, why do Raiders running backs just decide to eat the Broncos every fucking year?
Because you guys piss them off.
Who you guys have.
For some reason, and God bless us for doing this, when it comes to Broncos games, the Raiders actually try.
I blame Josh McDaniels. Fuck that motherfucker.
Oh, fuck him too. I don't want him as our goddamn head coach. Fuck that guy.
Kicked in the fucking shin.
Trust me,
I hope he gets kicked in the shin by a midget, and that midget doesn't have real legs, so he's getting kicked by a fucking metal peg by a midget.
So, would that midget still be a midget, or do you think he'd be a full-size man if he didn't have legs?
Well, Dev, you're only about yay tall. You could kick Josh McDaniels in the nuts, and I would be happy.
Oh, I'd roundhouse kick him.
Throw Josh McDaniels, I think. Josh McDaniels probably weighs $125 soaking wet.
All right, so I have made some significant changes to my running back rankings.
Oh.
I have trimmed the fat.
Oh, you've actually cut it down from the 20.
So, I'm going to do the first 5 here.
Kenneth Walker, Cam Akers.
James Cook is fastly rising up my board
Which is crazy because earlier in the year, you were talking about Josh Allen.
I am, but everything to him, I like James Cook. Ramondre, I do not like the Ezekiel Elliott signing, but I knew it was coming because Bill Belichick will never have a feature back.
I wanted to ask you because going into this week, we did hear about the Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott trades.
Yeah.
Or
Well, as far as Zeke goes,
are him and Ramondre going to be splitting carries, or is Zeke going to
this is the word, and I trust what Bill Belichick tells the press about as far as I can fling Devin. He says that Zeke Elliott will be a goal line complimentary piece. Bill Belichick will never have a singular back. He will not do that.
I have a reason for why Bill Belichick said that, because he constantly has dreams and nightmares about the 1 yard line where Malcolm Butler got that interception because the Seahawks didn't run it with Marshawn. That goal line situation is going to be Bill Belichick's fucking saving grace until he retires.
Well, let's also not forget the fact that when he had LeGarrette Blount in 2016, LeGarrette Blount scored 18 touchdowns.
Bro, I would not want to fucking try to tackle LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount would throw me to the fucking sideline.
I would try. I would not succeed.
Even Devin wouldn't be able to stop him, and I've seen Devin play football.
As I've said in the last few years, these coaches who run running back by committee, you could hand them Walter Payton in his prime, and they would still go to a committee because they just refuse to have one running back. Saquon Barkley, I know I've got him a lot lower than everyone else does. I don't buy. I just do not buy that he can stay healthy for another full year. I do not buy their quarterback. I do not buy it. I wish I could, but I can't.
Hey, Brandon Perna had said that Daniel Jones and Darren Waller are looking really good together.
And I have updated tight end rankings to reflect that.
Well, dude, Darren Waller's always going to be a top 5 tight end to me. Personally.
Well, also, who's throwing him the ball? Derek Carr or dipshit Jones?
Dude, I think you guys would have been good to keep Darren Waller with Jimmy G, because Jimmy G does like those passes.
So here's another update, and you'll see this here.
I like how you did that.
I've started including the handcuffs. Now, for those of you who are new to fantasy football or a little out of the ring or whatever, a handcuff is the person who is directly behind a particular running back in a depth chart who, say, numero uno goes down, this guy is going to step up and is going to be getting those touches. So I have updated my running back rankings to include handcuffs this week.
Okay.
So we've got Travis Etienne Jr. for the Jaguars. I'm not including Tank Bigsby because if he's anything, he's going to be a goal line guy. Alexander Madison has moved up to number 10 for me with the Minnesota Vikings. I love everything about this situation. The Vikings have a tremendous offensive line. And if he goes down, Ty Chandler looks like the guy to take that. Nick Chubb, number 9. Jerome Ford is behind him. I'm not as high on Chubb as a lot of other people are, just because I'm seeing potential wear and tear on him. But Jerome Ford is a guy to look at. Going to the bottom here, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon in Green Bay. Here's my problem with this whole situation. Aaron Jones, even though he is the clear
number 1,
quotation mark, clear running back 1, even with A.J. Dillon, only has a 58% snap count share.
Yeah.
Which tells me A.J. Dillon is right on his heels, and I don't like I don't like backfields that are split
Now,
this much.
here is something that I will jump in on real quick because our great friend of the channel, Tom Grassi, is a big Packers fan, and all
Really?
throughout last year, I heard him say he loves the fact that that Aaron Dillon and AJ or Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are splitting these carries
I don't.
because
Not as a fantasy
well,
guy.
not as a fantasy guy. And I can understand it as a fantasy guy because you wouldn't want to draft one or the other because they're not going to be getting that type of carry.
No, I will not be drafting either one when the
Exactly.
backfield is split that much.
Exactly. But if by chance you get both of them on your fantasy shit, that's going to look good.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to start both of them every single week, and you're looking at one of them doing good, the other doing jack shit, or both of them doing jack shit.
Dude, sometimes
And I'm not taking that
throughout
risk.
Last season, they were getting like 80 to 90 yards each a game.
Are they scoring the tutties though?
That is a big thing. And throughout the season, I think they did kind of split touchdowns. I think each of them had like 8 or 9 touchdowns. I think AJ Dillon might have had 6.
I think here is the biggest dichotomy I have between myself and the experts is Christian McCaffrey. They've all got him as 1 or 2. I've got him as 7. And it's strictly because I don't trust him staying healthy all
He's
year.
got a broken wheel.
I
I
want
to say that, but if he were to move to a wide receiver, if Christian McCaffrey were to move to receiver like his father did, I think he'd be a great slot receiver for the rest of his career.
I want guys who I know are going to get pretty much at least 60 to 70% of all the backfield touches and are going to be healthy, have no injury history to them. And I love Christian McCaffrey. He won me a championship in 2018. I love Christian McCaffrey, but stay healthy for 17 games.
Has he been here, and how often has he been hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson,
here. And again,
rookie for the Atlanta Falcons. I love this kid. I think he is going to be. I've got him a little bit lower. I've got him 6th. Some people have him as high in the top 5, maybe even number.
You even dropped him from where he was earlier this year.
I still love Bijan. He's a guy who. Now I'm sharing my ratings. I'm not sharing. We're doing an auction draft. I'm not sharing what price I would pay for him. So you won't know exactly how high I'm willing to bid.
That should totally be that last section, like the draft value.
No, I will never share that because then I'm just giving.
You should do that next year, Kat.
No, because then I'm just giving away my secret sauce.
Well, it doesn't matter because I spent $100 on fucking Shohei Ohtani this year,
and I spent $100 on Aaron Judge, and look where that fucking got me.
Well, you're doing better than I am.
And without the help of Aaron fucking Judge.
One of the bigger stories in football that we didn't quite touch on, Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Indianapolis Colts, who has now been granted permission to seek a trade. I know what Maddie's wanting. He's wanting Taylor in that backfield. I can see the grin.
Bring him to Denver. I love Javonte Williams, but if we could have Jonathan Taylor behind Russ.
I've also got his handcuff, Evan Hall, because we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, didn't their other running back just tear his ACL in fucking preseason, Nyheim Hines?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he tore his ACL during preseason. So, yeah, they're literally looking at Jonathan Taylor or their third-string running back.
Number 4, Joe Mixon, his handcuff, Chris Evans. Joe Mixon, I really like Joe Mixon.
He's staying healthy.
The only reason I have his handcuff listed here is if you draft Joe Mixon, I would say look at Chris Evans potentially if Mixon goes down.
But I think he's going to have a full year this year.
I don't foresee it, but it's a possibility. And then the top 3, Najee Harris is still in my top 3. I love Najee Harris.
And he's going to get like 60% of the touches this year.
Well, his snap count last year was 66%. They really like Jalen Warren, but Mike Tomlin is a bell cow coach, and his guy is his guy. Josh Jacobs,
Can we shout out the fact that you're finally showing some respect to Josh Jacobs, your running back?
well,
I see still no love for Derrick Henry.
no, he's over the age marker and he's over the touch marker. If
Devin,
you're over a certain age or you're over 1,800 touches, you will not be ranked. Or if
Devin,
you're a
you're
Cowboy.
probably going to
Derrick
get
Henry-
Derrick Henry for cheap.
If I get Derrick Henry, mark my words, I want him to run over whatever you think he wasn't going to be able to do.
No, here are my qualifications to be ranked for me. Are you under the age of 30? Do you have less than 1,800 career touches? And are you a Dallas Cowboy?
rip Tony Pollard, who's probably going to have a really good season this year.
Fuck Tony Pollard. He's not even on my board. Fuck Tony Pollard. He's a Cowboy.
With how bad Dak Prescott has been looking during OTAs and preseason, Tony Pollard's probably getting a large.
I will never have a Dallas Cowboy on my roster again.
Who
Ever.
did it for you? Was it Des Bryant?
No. A couple of years ago, I had CeeDee Lamb and I had Ezekiel Elliott on my roster. And CeeDee Lamb couldn't catch jack shit, and Mike McCarthy showed his true colors, which I kind of suspected, but thought, okay, he's being handed Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to run this guy. No, he didn't, because that's Mike McCarthy. And then Austin Eckler. Josh Jacobs is going to report to the team
for the first time.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. I'm just not doing
that
it.
news today.
Yeah, I'm just not.
Are we going to see a Cap getting a Josh Jacobs?
No.
Josh Jacobs, for the first time since early OTAs, has reported back for the Raiders and will be there for opening day against Denver, where he's probably going to run for like 156 yards because fuck me. Ooh, I should put that down for a bet right now.
No, trust me. Josh Jacobs is.
We're not stopping Josh Jacobs.
To quote Marshawn Lynch, he's just there so he don't get fined. I think Josh Jacobs is just pining his time till he can get a legit contract.
Remember how good Marshawn Lynch did that year? Do you remember how good Marshawn Lynch did?
He was there so he didn't get fined.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs is going to run for like 1,000+ yards this year.
If he isn't going to be running for 1,700 yards like he did last year, I don't want no part of him because otherwise, when I've had him,
I think he might try to go for 2,000. I've got a strong.
He is in fuck you mode in a bad way. He could. He just wants to get the fuck out of Vegas.
Imagine the bag he could get if he does really fucking well, and is like
no, because they can still franchise tag him again. You can franchise tag a guy twice.
You got a good point there.
This is his first franchise. They can still franchise tag him again. If I'm Josh Jacobs, I'm playing like If I'm Josh Jacobs, I'm playing like dog shit. I'm not even trying, and I'm getting the fuck out of there because Josh McDaniels.
I'm not playing like dog shit. I wouldn't play like dog shit
because that's your name. I'm not gonna just tarnish my name just to play dog shit because I'm pissed with the team.
Trade. I mean, I understand that other players have done it in the past, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, fuck me.
So getting into wide receivers, I've updated this a little bit. I've added Chris Olave, and here is why. Normally, I'm not a fan of adding a player who I don't have at least 2 years of consistent statistics for. But Chris Olave, there's something about this kid, and I can't shake him.
Chris Olave is a good receiver.
Yeah, he did it for 1 year. Do it for a couple of years, stay healthy, and be awesome, and then I'll think about you. I added Christian Kirk from the Jaguars.
Pull it up, Cap.
Did I not? Oh. No. Oh, okay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing,
So, Chris Olave, T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, Christian Kirk, Devontae Smith.
DJ Moore is going to be Fields' #1 guy this year.
But Fields can't throw the ball worth 2 flying fucks.
Not very far. If we do these little dump and dimes, DJ Moore has proven that he can fucking move.
I mean, that's why I added him to the list because of the sheer volume. But
he's going to catch a lot of their passes and shit.
I don't trust Justin Fields yet. Like I get a lot of now he could, Justin Fields could second year Lamar and just fucking
now
blow everyone's minds.
I'll shout out Brandon Perna one more time. He did the early preseason bold predictions and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
He predicted that there's going to be 2 quarterbacks that rush for over 1,000 yards this year. That being
Justin and Lamar.
Justin. I think Justin Fields is going to rush for 1,000 yards.
I think we could have 3: Lamar, Justin, and Anthony Richardson.
I think Richardson could easily do it as well. But
if they don't have Jonathan Taylor and all they've got is just Anthony Richardson, Michael Pittman, and cannon fodder,
you're probably going to shit on this idea, and Devin, you might as well. Justin Fields may very well rush for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns rushing, and throw for 30 touchdowns with at least 3,000 yards passing.
Unless he gets injured.
Unless he gets hurt.
3,000 yards maybe, but 30. But 30. You think he's going to score 40 touchdowns? You're fucking.
I think
you're smoking the hopium, Matthew.
I think
the hopium.
I think Justin Fields may very well score 40 touchdowns himself this year, and that may be a stat that I will keep track.
That is.
You want to bet on that right now?
How much money are you willing to bet on it? I'm willing.
Let's put it there.
I'm willing to throw $50 in on this pot. $50 that Justin Fields himself will account for 40 touchdowns, regardless of how it is, because now we're just going off of 40 touchdowns.
40 touchdowns for Justin Fields,
whether it be from his feet or his arm. I'm throwing $50 in on that pot right now. Devin, are you in on this?
I'm trying to think of a math. Yeah, I'm trying to do math in my head to see how much I can try to get you to raise if I go in with Cap. Because I don't think he's going to do it. So I'm on Cap on this.
40 touchdowns. There's just no way.
Yeah, I don't see him
But I know how
him get hurt.
The NFL is. I don't see him necessarily getting hurt. I just know how.
If he gets hurt, the bet is voided.
That's bullshit.
Well, Devin, that's how FanDuel works. If someone gets hurt, the bet gets voided.
Really? Fair.
So I'll throw $50 in. Should Justin Fields play a full 18 games, he'll get 40
17.
A full 17 games. Should he play a full 17 games, Justin Fields will score 40 touchdowns through his feet and his arm.
All right. And if Justin and if
1,000 rushing yards, I did say that as well. So 1,000.
So 1,000 rushing yards and 40 total touchdowns for Justin Fields.
Whether it be his legs or his arm, it doesn't matter how he gets to the 40.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go against that bet.
25 to Devin and 25 to Cap, and you guys making back whatever you guys get put in.
I'm trying to think. No, this is too juicy. I rarely make bets live because I'm really this confident on something. I've got to think of a really something really, really snazzy.
50 is big for me because I rarely do like a $5 bet on FanDuel.
Yeah, and he's throwing 50 over a person who's not even on a team.
I don't want your money. I want your soul.
I'm already going to eat a steak this year, probably, goddammit, because Patrick Mahomes won't tear his goddamn ACL for nothing.
I want you to get yourself a Ravens jersey.
I will buy a Ravens jersey.
That's too little.
I plan on getting something from each team, so I'll buy a fucking Jerry Rice. I'll buy a Randy Moss Raiders jersey, and I'll buy an Ed Reed Ravens jersey.
Not even Uncle Sharp?
I do love Uncle Shannon, but that's too easy.
RAWBall loves Uncle Shan. He is always family, even if he doesn't even know the fuck we exist. We love Uncle Shan.
We would love to.
Oh, did you see he has a new commercial for something? I forgot what it was. It was an ad, and it's hilarious.
Did he basically say "fuck Skip Bayless"?
No, he was making fun of a kid in the commercial.
Damn.
Forgot what it was. I saw it on the.
Anywho, back to the list cap.
Yeah. All right, I'll think of a wager later.
We will come back to this.
We'll round back around. So
Matt, I already put one down for this year for the steak and the Mahomes jersey. So
yeah,
that would fucking kill me just to look at a Mahomes jersey every day. I get ready to put clothes on. I'm gonna have to put that bitch in a box.
No, that has to be out and about. I'll get you a jersey case for it,
bro.
So we got
Lockett.
Lockett.
You a jersey case for it.
We got 10 minutes left. Lockett, Cooper, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Deebo Samuel. That's my top 15. Lockett has risen in my ranks. I do like Tyler Lockett. I'm worried about the age, but also, I mean, who else is Geno going to throw to other than DK Metcalf?
And Jigba. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He got hurt. And Jigba got hurt.
He just got a catch in the preseason game, didn't he?
And Jigba got hurt.
Oh, shit.
JSN got hurt? Fuck yeah, I'm glad we didn't fucking draft his ass because Zay Flowers has been doing fantastic for us.
Let me see here. He injured his hand, if I understand correctly.
Oh,
while you're doing that,
he is out indefinitely with a hamstring injury. Actually,
that's a hammy.
I hate the hammy injuries, right? Hey, he's got a couple weeks before the fucking regular season starts. So,
Deontay Johnson
to be exact.
continues to move up for me. I really like Deontay, just from the sheer volume. Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp. I like, as I used to joke with my friend Aaron Bouchon, 2 Coopers, 1 Kupp because he's a big Rams fan. A.J. Brown for the Eagles, possibly doing something there. Then the next 2, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase.
Oh, wow.
I've got them actually tied at 4th.
Tyreek actually dropped, didn't he?
No, Tyreek's climbed for me. Because I added a new statistic this week: red zone target percentage. This is the percentage of time.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go here. Usual suspects. So, in terms of wide receivers on their team who get targeted the most in the red zone, there you go.
Okay, that makes sense. Mamari, Devontae, Justin.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be one of my favorite receivers for the year. So.
Oh yeah, he's going to do great.
Matty is going to be sucking that. Matty is going to be sucking Detroit cock all year. I can tell.
Dude, Detroit may be my big bet to get into the playoffs this year.
Because you're a degenerate gambler.
And
all right, so I have updated my tight end rankings. I've added in a few guys. I've expanded it to 10. So take a look at the bottom half here because we're running low on time. I've added in Njoku, Tyler Higbee.
Oh, you didn't throw it.
Oh, shit. Damn it. I hate this. I wish it would just do it auto, but
I wish it would as well.
All right, so
there we go.
Top 10 tight ends: Njoku, Higbee, Pitts, Freiermuth. Look at the red zone target percentage for Freiermuth and Higbee. 93.8% red zone targets for Higbee, 80% for Freiermuth.
And
That means
that's just because that the old reliable tight end, the big guy with the soft hands, is your
yeah.
reliable guy in the
That
red
means whenever that team gets into, and I add this for tight ends and wide receivers. So that means whenever they get into the red zone, that is who they are targeting. Take this down here. I've added Dallas
Cooper
Goddard.
Hawkinson.
I
He definitely
really
moved
like
up on yours.
Hawkinson's moved up. I added in Waller and Goddard. Once I added in red zone targets, they kind of made me take notice. I don't like Goddard's overall performance, but the fact that he has those red zone targets
Oh,
says
dude, he is Jalen.
he could be touchdown lucky, to put it that way.
He's Jalen Hurts' lucky one.
Now, wait till you see this.
Kelsey, Mandrews, Kittle.
99% of the time, George Kittle is targeted in the red zone for the San Francisco 49ers. Kelsey,
I believe it.
only 74%.
Hey, Cap, who is your guys' tight end right now? Because that was
Maher.
That was with good old Jimmy G, right?
Yeah, Maher.
I wish you the best of luck as Jimmy G is going into the red zone looking at his tight end as opposed to Devontae Adams.
Let's just put it this way. Let's be glad that I have zero intentions of offing myself, and that I work with a podcast who is against suicide, because the idea of Jimmy Garoppolo heading my Las Vegas Raiders and looking at
manager.
It's going to be a game changer for you, Kev.
yes, game manager, future porno star.
Hey, dude, he got offered free fucking brothel visits for life.
Yes, that's what happened when you play. Yeah, one of the legal brothels in Vegas offered Jimmy G free sex for life.
Wow.
So, Devin, if you ever want to figure out that you're a good quarterback, just let the Vegas Raiders know.
Oh, that's
Can you imagine what would happen if Dev?
Cap, I cannot hear a single word you said.
We could not hear anything you just said.
You look so confident in what you were saying, but you sounded like Megatron on a broken record.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was saying, can you imagine what would happen if Dev was given free sex for life from a brothel? We would never see him again.
Devin, it's RAWBall Tuesday. Fuck
You're
off.
damn right it is.
Would be the only text we'd get. Fuck off.
Hey Dev,
you damn right it is.
Hey Dev, I'm gonna send you a big shipment of penicillin.
Here's hoping Devin's not allergic to it like our mom is.
Oh, I'm allergic to penicillin.
Oh shit.
Thankfully,
I can handle it. Sky has penicillin here. I can just pop penicillin.
Knock on wood, I have yet to. Well, no, I've had the clap a couple of times, but other than that, I've never never had any legit, STD that didn't, pass on its own.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, get fucked.
Hey, dude, trust me, it's no clapping or laughing matter. Once you've pissed fire, trust me, you rethink where you drink. Once you have pissed fire, you rethink where you have drank, because
how long were you the penis dragon for?
The first time I had it, it lasted for about 3 or 4 days. The second time, it was a couple of days. The first time it was
the dragon reawakened.
The first time I had it, I swear it. When you piss fire for about 3-4 days straight,
it changes you.
It changes you. I once was an adventurer like you, and then I started pissing fire because of the clap.
Well, and I have to say I caught it twice from the same person. I I She had nice tits. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm only a man.
I'm only a man.
The first time I chalked it up to coincidence. The second time I was like, okay, you this ain't happening again.
Coincidence? I think not.
Okay. If you're a young man in your early 20s, out about town, and you start pissing fire one day, you're like, okay, well, I don't know where I got it, but I got it from somewhere. But the second time, you could pretty well narrow down where it came from.
My investigations and my scientific methodology. I know that you gave me a bitch.
Hey, I am the Sherlock Holmes of STDs. Trust me.
Holy shit!
Lick's finger, fucking Debbie.
It's the Durlock Holmes.
Fortunately, those are the only two times I have had such an illness, and they passed.
What a way to end the show.
Painfully, but they passed. Yes.
What a way to clap off the show. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and don't get the clap.
And stay away from sluts and dive bars when you're in your mid-20s and it's 2 a.m. It's closing time and they need a ride home.
I knew that Waffle House was a bad idea.
Oh no, Waffle House is never a bad idea. It's just what you take with you.
We are looking forward to Saturday, which is All In.
When does it start?
I'm going to look that up, and then I'll send it to our group chat, and then I'll find a way for us to watch it.
Because I work in the morning.
If that is the case...
Today's my only day off.
Oh. Well...
And actually, this Saturday, Cap will not be available this Saturday.
Well, then it might be me and Davey. We'll see about that.
And maybe Shug.
Yeah, we will see about that. At least
I am unavailable Saturday, so it could be you, Davey, and Shug. But yeah, I am out on Saturday.
At least I know it'll be me and Davey. So Saturday we will be here for All In, and I will say after that, the RAWBall Fantasy Football Draft has been moved to
Tuesday, September 5th.
And it
will be a full-on RAWBall episode.
It'll be in place of our RAWBall episode. Should we go earlier or?
I put it for 5:30 just to give guys. It's a weeknight. Give guys time to get home.
Okay.
Because I think all of our guys that are drafting are either East Coast or Central Time, or Mountain Time. But you guys are off, so we don't have any West Coasters that I'm aware of. So. That'll give everyone time, and it'll be. We can move it to like 6 or so if necessary. But yeah, it'll be the RAWBall Fantasy Football Draft Tuesday, September 5th.
It'll be that week's RAWBall podcast. So
okay,
which is gonna be fucking fun watching you two.
We may go late as well. So
yeah, I cannot wait to see how much money Dev is gonna try and draft for Lamar Jackson.
I don't want to know that.
You've got a $500 budget. Are you going to spend all of it on Lamar?
I mean, shit. If a man's got to do what a man's got to do.
I will say,
if I had a nickel for every time I had to clap that. I mean, say that.
I'll be over at Devon's for that, so we'll be straight.
Oh, that is going to be glorious.
And then be running it off of our phones. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, stream on the laptop, running off of our phones.
And other than that, anything else you guys want to plug or promote before we go off?
Cap is good. The fact that my White Sox are presently
getting ready to become the Montreal White Sox. Devin, what about you?
I do not got anything to say at this time.
It's okay. Your Ravens probably won't do shit this season either.
Shut up.
I am here to remind you all to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Have a
Don't get the
wonderful
clap.
week. Don't get the clap. Don't get arrested. And we will see you all this Saturday.
Our list of don'ts is continuing to grow. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Don't get arrested. Don't get the clap. I mean, we're gonna have like the 10 commandments of the RAWBall podcast before this is over.
Eventually.
All right. And
We're already.
we should see you all on Saturday. So have a wonderful night and stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated.
Don't get the clap.